Dillon, after coming off the tough loss on Saturday, what did you guys see when you went back and looked at film, and what kind of stood out to you about the game?
Just one play away, one missed play, that could have changed the whole game, and that's something I look back on. Shoot, I gotta, make that one play. That's what good quarterbacks do. That's what the great ones do actually, and I pride myself on being able to change the game like that. So, this one I look to myself. I look myself in the mirror and can just look and see how can I be better for this upcoming week. So.
Dillon, I know you obviously are very difficult, very tough on yourself after this difficult loss, but you put up record-setting numbers personally. Did you feel, other than maybe picking out a couple things where you could have done better, I mean, do you feel like this was one of your best games at UCF?
Not at all. I don't ever care about any stats that have anything to do with any of that. It's just finding ways to win, and that's all I care about. I want to be there for my teammates, be able to do as best as I can to find a way to win. So that's my main goal and forever will be. So.
And can you talk about? It seemed like in this game you were going more with the clap pre-count to make sure that you guys were on time with the snap. Is that something that you saw that was kind of worked in during the bye, and something you saw really help mitigate those pre-snap penalties?
I think that's something that was one of our solutions, but being able to try different things over the week, and then obviously find one that we're very comfortable with. So we're gonna try and continue to find solutions to our problems, and then I think it worked pretty well. So.
Dillon, what's your message to your teammates going into this week? I mean, it's obviously you want to say must win, but do you feel like at some point you got to get everyone to rally together to kind of put together a strong showing?
Yeah, you got to look yourself in the mirror. Everyone on our team has to look ourselves in the mirror and say, how can we be better ourselves, and then how can we be better, collectively as a team. But once we do that, there's no time to sulk. There's every week there's a new game. Every day, you wake up and it's a new day. So, like I said, look yourself in the mirror. I'm going to look myself in the mirror and try to be better every single day. So.
Dillon, I know the offensive line, and particularly Matt Lee, took a lot of heat after that Tulsa game for the fall starts. How do you think those guys responded, particularly Matt, against Memphis and pretty good defensive line?
I think he responded very well, and like I said, from that game, it wasn't all his fault. It may look that way because he's touching the ball every snap, but it wasn't his fault. It's not every one man's fault. And, I was part of the problem with that. So I think he bounced back well. I think we did as an offense. I think a lot of guys did, but like I said, without a win, it doesn't mean anything. So we got to find ways to win. I don't care how, but that's what we do.
Obviously, Dillon, you can't do it alone. So what can you talk about your receiving core, the work they did in that game to get themselves in positions to complete, to make those catches? And they all had big, long chunk gains. What can you say about Marlon and Jalen and Ryan O'Keefe, guys who really stepped up in this game?
They're playmakers. They make plays, and that's what, that's their job. That's something they got to do, and they're really good at. So, that's something we have to continue on doing. Whenever we get them in space, it's very good for them just being able to, work with it and obviously get, big chunks, gain yardage. But that's something we got to continue to work on and continue being great at. So.
Dillon, when in particular Jalen, when he first got to campus, and I know he didn't play last year, but did you see that potential for him to be a big play threat for you guys?
Of course. I saw a lot of potential. But, you never know until you put someone in the fire, It's just you gotta see him in game time. But I never doubted him 1 second. I had a lot of confidence in him. But, he proved himself right, and he's continued to do so. So I'm proud of him. He's my guy. So.
Dillon, I know guys are obviously going to feel a little bit down after losing the last two, but, you still got things to play for. Has anyone kind of stood up and said anything? What's kind of been the energy and vibe today as you get to work to go to practice against Tulane?
It's just, I mean, this is a big moment that you really see, you know, I mean, who the true competitors are, who the true teammates are, because it's so easy to be good when everything's going great, you know, but when things hit the fan, I mean, who's there to continue to pick up the team? Who's there to continue to fight, you know? And that's why I think the biggest message is look yourself in the mirror. How can you be better yourself? Because I know everyone has a play where they want to take back, and I know I do. Um, and I'll forever take that one on me because shoot, one play away and the game could be different. So I think just looking ourselves in the mirror, being able to play well and continue to do so. But I don't know. I don't know how. I don't care how. We just need to win. So
Dillon, your running backs, particularly Greg McCray and some of the tight ends, had a pretty big game and pass blocking for you. What did you see from those guys? And in particular, one play, Greg McCray was able to give you a plenty of time. I think it was to find Ryan O'Keefe down the sideline. What's that like having those guys being able to pass block for you?
they prepare very well when it comes to the pass game. And then likewise, there's a bunch of reps at it. They continue to not only run the ball very well, but pass block, and that's something that's huge in our offense. And they're unselfish when it comes to that kind of things, and they'll block and give me time. So I'm grateful for every back that continues to do that. So.
Dillon, there's commonly a 24-hour rule when it comes to games, wins or losses, about moving on to the next one. But when it's 50-49, you put up the yards you did and all that stuff, and you guys were so successful, and then you come up 1 point short, does it linger past 24 hours at all, or were you able to move on like usual?
Man, it's tough. Obviously, you're disappointed, but like I said, never defeated. There's another week, there's another day. Life moves on, and there's another week to go prove yourself. So, got to look myself in the mirror, got to get better, and then figure out a way to win. That's the main message. So.